Residents on the East Coast are now bracing for the season's first nor'easter as severe weather threatens tens of millions of Americans from coast to coast. Powerful storms swept across the Midwest over the weekend. Several tornadoes were reported in Missouri and Illinois Sunday, leaving major damage behind. This same storm system is now moving toward the central Appalachians and the Mid-Atlantic. Meanwhile, a bomb cyclone weather system stalled over the Pacific Northwest, killing at least 2 people. Drenching rains and lashing winds are whipping across northern California, causing roads to flood and rivers to overflow. CBS News lead national correspondent David Begnaud reports.
What blew through Northern California and much of the West this weekend is being described as epic, even historic. And here's what it left behind. A major rock slide covering a highway in Northern California. It could take days before that's cleared. Meanwhile, listen to these gale force winds ripping through the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. They even lifted up this semi-truck on one Bay Area bridge and literally moved it over. There were numerous trees uprooted. Tens of thousands of people were left without power and more than a foot of water in some places. All of that from an atmospheric river, as it's known, stretching all the way from the Hawaiian Islands, the darker spots showing the heaviest rainfall, with Northern California right in the bullseye. More than 5 inches of rain fell in the capital of Sacramento on Sunday, making it the wettest day on record. And more than 4 inches of rain fell in San Francisco. That made it the 4th highest one-day total ever recorded. And they've been tracking weather since the gold rush days. Still, there is at least one upside. California had a devastating fire season. The Dixie Fire north of Sacramento, the second largest fire in state history, had been burning since mid-July, scorching nearly 1 million acres and destroying more than 1,300 structures. Last night, finally, it was declared contained.
Now, here's the reality check. That record-breaking storm yesterday was just a drop in the bucket when it comes to ending California's record-breaking drought. We came here to Folsom Lake just outside Sacramento to give you a sense of what we're talking about. Look at the boat marina. It's so dry you can practically walk through it. As we fly toward the reservoir now, which provides drinking water to people, water to farmers for crops, the reservoir is less than half full. We asked and we were told it would take water from 7 more record-breaking storms like the one we had yesterday. 7 more of those in order to get Folsom Lake even close to normal. Elaine?
David Begnaud, thank you. CBS News meteorologist and climate specialist Jeff Berardelli joins me now. Hi there, Jeff. So let's start with the West Coast. Why was the storm so strong, and where is it headed?
You heard David mention the word epic. It was really an epic storm. I mean, even for meteorologists, it's hard to believe what we saw transpire over the past couple of days or so. So let's show you. Now, this is a rewind to last Thursday. And the reason why we have to go back to last Thursday is because that was the first storm. That storm right there was the 3rd strongest storm on record in the Northeast Pacific. You can see it right there, fueled by a very strong jet stream. Fast forward like 3 days later, we got the strongest storm ever in the Northeast Pacific. So think about that. 72 hours split between the 3rd strongest storm ever and the strongest storm ever, powering a Cat 5 atmospheric river which slammed into central California, produced as much as 16 to 17 inches of rain in places, broke a record in Sacramento for the most rain we've ever seen in 24 hours, about a once-in-100-year type rain event in the Sacramento Valley. Look at the satellite. The system is moving to the south now. Here's a look at the radar. So the rain is not ended, but it's mostly done across central California, now moving into southern California. But certainly we think this atmospheric river and this whole situation was impacted by climate change. And this is the way it works. First of all, we have more weather whiplash. Remember, we went from the worst drought in modern history, so extremely dry conditions, to extremely wet conditions in the snap of a finger. Also, we tend to see more intense atmospheric rivers because of climate change. In addition, overall, we have less rain events, but we have heavier downpours. So that's not necessarily good for drought situations. You want the heavy downpours, but when it rains too hard, too fast, it